So Tucker Carlson went over to do an interview with Vladimir Putin, but he got a big warning. Think about this, from his lawyers first. And this is crazy to me. This is crazy. I mean, I'm a journalist, but even if I'm not a journalist, right? I'm an American citizen. You think about citizen journalists right now, independent journalists, people that are not tied to networks, that are here like me, talking to you one-on-one. Live show again today here on YouTube. We're also live on Rumble and on Facebook and Twitter every single day. So this is amazing. Tucker Carlson actually having to get a really difficult message from his lawyers. And I think he was pretty stunned by it, as he should be, as I am, and as you should be. But it gels with everything we're hearing from this White House.
My lawyers, before I left, and these are people who work for a big law firm. This is not Bob's law firm. This is one of the biggest law firms in the world, said, you're going to get arrested if you do this by the U.S. government on sanctions violations. And I said, well, I don't recognize the legitimacy of that, actually, because I'm American. And I've lived here my whole life, and that's so outrageous that I'm happy to face that risk, because I so reject the premise. Okay, I'm an American. I should be able to talk to anyone I want to, and I plan to exercise that freedom, which I think I was born with. And I gave them this long lecture. They're like, "We're just lawyers," but that was it was let me put it this way. I don't know how much you dealt with lawyers, but it costs many thousands of dollars to get a conclusion like that. Like, they sent a whole bunch of their summer associates or whatever. They put a lot of people on this question, checked a lot of precedent. And they sent me a 10-page memo on it. And their sincere conclusion was, do not do this. And of course it made me mad. So I was lecturing on the phone, and I had another call with the head lawyer. And he said, well, look, a lot will depend on the questions that you ask Putin. Mm-hmm. If you're seen as too nice to him, you could get arrested when you come back. And I was like, you're describing a fascist country, okay? You're saying that the U.S. government will arrest me if I don't ask the questions they want asked? My lawyers, before I left, and these are people who work for a big law firm. This is not Bob's law firm. This is one of the big.
Think about that. I mean, that's really, really scary. Again, we ought to be able to talk to whoever we want. We ought to be able to get information however we want. But somehow you could be in violation. And by the way, don't kid yourself. This is exactly what people were saying. You had Bill Kristol, who's sort of a, he was a former, this is interesting, he was former chief of staff to Dan Quayle, I believe. So, he's from the sort of establishment class. Dan Quayle is not exactly a great claim to fame. But anyway, he's out there saying that we should arrest or detain Tucker Carlson on his way back into the country. You had some members of Congress calling him a traitor. I mean, for goodness sakes, you guys should welcome more information, especially if you have any interest in getting any kind of peace over there. You should welcome all the information you can get. And then you had the mainstream media freaking out because, frankly, they were all just so damn jealous that they didn't have the interview. Believe me, I know these people. Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace was like really mad. He was so mad he had to play his old interview from 2019 with Putin. Yeah. Look, it's a catty business. It's a catty business. And there were people that, how did Tucker get that interview and not me? Oh, it's because he's going to give him softballs, et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, this is partly why the mainstream media is so darn under fire right now, under fire in huge ways. And it's because they're all so damn woke.